Hello everybody, Glitch Ripper here. I'm back for some more crazy Minecraft. I thought I'd be doing a little extra exploration, and it seems like, yeah, one of my coven here, Alexandria Van Allen, seems to want to just kind of giddy up and go too. So that shows that things are kind of working off nicely. I haven't organized since last time, so that's a bit of a problem in a way. But to be perfectly fair, I just need to go back to my sunset dimension to take care of that. So, yeah, that'll be pretty easy. Just gonna zip back there and do things. So I'm kind of gonna discuss how I'm gonna be exploring today. The thing is, there's a lot of little mini dungeons lying around in the general vicinity, and they can have loot as well. So I was thinking of maybe going into them and seeing what I can find. I also know that there's some that are kind of close to other major monuments around here, like, oh, say, Omega Base or Sigma Base, I think have some. So, yeah.
Arachnophobia! Eight-legged terrors! Ha ha ha!
Again, we know the drill. Not happening. It's like, well. I mean, he tries. He tries to do the dramatic announcement. It's just, it's just not feeling it. That's the real problem. But if I'm lucky, like really lucky, maybe I'll find a bypass for that once in a while. Because again, well, I do have like a major bypass, but I'd rather not use that if I can really help it. This is kind of a special item. It's needed for those, so yeah. Okay, I also need to get through these. But yeah, I'd like to kind of just go around, and the thing is, there's a couple of items from like Knight's mobs that if you find them, you can get minions to show up. I've already done that with the Cinderfall blade, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's a really good item. I've always liked the Cinderfall blade, but there is another part of the set. There's the oh wait, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the. There is another part of the. Oh, that's why. There is another part of the set, and that's the Venom Axe. Well, it's not really a set. It's just like it has a companion that's quite similar to it. And the Cinderfall blade, it summons cinders, and you know, but the thing is, cinders are pretty, trying to hit this, oh, wrong one. Cinders are pretty good, but there's other types of things I'd like to summon. I mean, sure, cinders let you, like, burn enemies and stuff, but there's plenty that are at least somewhat resistant to that attack. So, I'm thinking I'm probably going to need something else, like maybe a poison attack or something would be nice. And Remobras can do, and darn lips, and Remobras can do that because they have like a magical poison attack instead. So they're kind of like a spitting dragon, and they spit these little toxic attacks, and it's pretty cool whenever it all works out. And so for enemies that have like different resistances, I'd like to see if I can kind of get them caught between two different types of minions. So that's what I'm going to try to do, although I'm not, like, perfectly confident it's going to happen, because, again, random loot is random, so, you know. And wait, I'd like to put that up. It was a good memory, but still. Okay. But anyhow, the thing is that I'd kind of like to see if I can. Again, it is a bit random, so we'll see how this works out. And there's other things I can find in these small dungeons. Like, for example, I can find little knowledge notes for Hardcore Ender expansion. Because even though I know some things about the mod, I'd like to try going through it in a way where I'll be able to, like, actually be able to see kind of the way it's meant to be played, if I can. Because it's so rare that I get a pack that actually works with it, so I kind of got to go with that. And it's just something that I just rarely get the opportunity for, so I'm gonna go with it. I am gonna go with it, and that getting knowledge notes really helps your research. Like you can you can get some points by examining things in the end, but at the same time, I don't think it gives you enough to really like go all the way through. So I think the two methods need to be complementary, where you go around just doing things in the hardcore end, and then you uh, also get all these knowledge notes. Now, the end does have some dungeons of its own, and they can help out a lot with that too. At least I believe they can have knowledge notes as well. It would be ironic if they didn't, because they're the dungeons from the mod. So whenever I go searching for them, I'm really expecting that some of my loot will be knowledge notes. I mean, it's not knowledge fragments. This isn't Thumbcraft. It's knowledge notes. So I'm trying to figure out where some of those structures are. I know they're all local, and I know they're pretty close to my town. Or at least there's several that are, anyhow. So I'm going to kind of fly in a kind of a sweeping circle to see if I could find some. Because I know that there was some local. It's been a while since I've really tried paying attention to them, because it's something that I've been kind of thinking of raiding, but at the same time, ish. But now that I'm really looking for something specific that I know is dungeon loot, I'm thinking it's probably about that time. Also, there's some additional auxiliary dungeons I can find in other locations. Like, I can actually go to the Twilight Forest for special dungeons that are kind of up in trees that look vaguely like that, but that this isn't a Twilight Forest tree. The thing is that there's these little things called leaf dungeons, and if you go into them, you can get all sorts of nice stuff, including possibly more magical saplings. And I mean for like special magical trees with very special and unique abilities. So it's something that's just kind of fascinating to do, getting stuff from those leaf dungeons. Well, admittedly, they are loot dungeons, so that could have went both ways. Okay, I think I went around there. I need to reorientate my town and see if I can. Well, is that? I don't think that's my big tree. But yeah, thing is, I'd like to try searching some of these different little dungeons around. And again, I know some are nearby certain bases, but I also want to look kind of further and further along and see if I can find stuff as before I go too terribly far out. Maybe I'll have to just keep sweeping farther out to really find loot. But again, it's got to be more valuable loot. This mod pack has a lot of good loot, so I'm definitely going to go with it. And I probably need to find home again, because that's probably a better way to find where I'm going. But yeah. But then again, you never know, because these little houses kind of go all over the place. They look clearly different from the ones from Witchery, might I add. Like, they're not witch houses. They use like different chiseled blocks, so I know that that the mod has compatibility with others like chisel. You see, it's one kind of like this. This is what I'm looking for. It's these little kind of houses. So let's see what's in this one. I'll have to unmorph every time just because I can't fit through doors like this. For some odd reason, flame wraiths are a little wide. See, I'm looking for these little things. Okay, got some gunpowder, some copper, iron, which is... Hey, any iron is useful towards getting my rocket powered up, so yeah. And as usual, I will always take a chest so that I don't retake it. Because that is a good strategy. It lets you know that you've been there. You've done that. What's up with the sudden delays? It's throwing my clicker off. Yeah, I'm also using that as a general loot dump, so yeah. Okay, so I found at least one here. Angry snakes. So I did find a knowledge note in that one, and it's worth 16 points, and they're worth variable amounts. I'm hoping maybe, if I'm really lucky, I might get enough points to look into some of those things I was finding before, like the essence altars. Because when I get into that, I want to be able to actually do things and know what I'm doing. Because I know that there's like different ways of modifying items with them. Like the different types of essence do different things. Like dragon essence does things differently than fiery essence, which does things differently than spectral. I'm not sure how far that system was even worked on at this time, because I know there was a lot of things that were kind of called off because, like, well, the modder decided to kind of take a break for a while, and he has kind of come back to it. And I have heard that he's thinking of doing a sequel mod. Actually, after all this time, there will be a hardcore Ender expansion 2, which should also be way more compatible with modern mods than this version was with this set of mods. Know what I mean? So, like, instead of having all these issues where it's saying, sorry, I reject this mod, it will actually let you do things. So that's just something to look forward to in and of itself, is we can have Hardcore Ender Expansion 2 in a lot of mod packs, where the original one here was sort of like, no, I'm not feeling it, bye. With, like, so many things. Okay, need to take a quick nap. But yeah, I think I know which direction to go, because I think I just remembered which way it is to one of the dungeons I'm looking for. Because I think one was past my reference trees, which are those two enormous ones over there, including the one that I never fully took down, because it was just too enormous and I had more than enough rubber already. So I'm going, thank you, tree. I'm going to let you just stay mysteriously floating there with your remaining stuff intact. Okay, yeah, I thought there was one past my reference trees. I was right. Yeah, okay. I knew there was one past the reference trees. Did I see a mob past there? No, that was just a fence. I'm good. Okay, so yeah, look at all these builds. A lot of these are chiseled blocks of different types, and I think these are mostly tech guns dungeons. Like they're little houses made for tech guns. Like this would be like a outpost where you'd kind of use like a sniper's perch or something. But it's apparently very compatible with chisel and will use chiseled blocks when able. Okay, let's see what we have. Oh, that's a good knowledge note, and that's one of the things I'm after. Venom Axe Blade. Yes, please. Thank you. And a new division sigil. That could come in handy, because at some point I will need another full one. Turret-based tier 1. I have plenty of those, thank you. A name tag, golden horse armor, sawed-off shotgun, iron pet armor, turret base, saddle. Okay, I'm getting all sorts of nice things from this one. This one's the winner here. After so many, after so much searching through that enormous dungeon and getting diddly, I seem to have hit the jackpot with a smaller dungeon that's just like, hi, would you like some loot? I mean, I'd be grateful to give you some. And I'm going, yes, please. That is very nice. So, I completely accept your loot. So, yeah, thank you very much for this. So I'm taking this very wholeheartedly. Sawed-off shotgun. Shotgun shells. Yeah, I don't think I need to use all the guns. There's just some that I would like to use. And I think, yeah. So I'm as usual taking these. But for some odd reason, it's just, odds are weird. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they call them odds, is they're a little odd sometimes. But yeah, it's like, of all the odds, this, and again, when did that statement ever come, well, you know what I mean. Like, when did that statement ever become a thing? Oh, although admittedly, it makes at least more sense than some, so I guess it's not too weird a one. But, odds can be odds. Sometimes you can get some very weird events showing up, like, that was from a previous meteor strike, so, again, weird. So, meteor strike nearby to my thing, so yeah. And while I'm skimming around here, I might try to see if I can do a quick find of where my bases are, because I know that they have had in the past at least one of the structures nearby, so I might check out what loot it has. Though I might go a little diagonal, because I think, aha, there we go. I knew one was nearby. And there is the little building. I thought the more snowy base had it. I was right. Okay, let's, yeah, it's been a while, but suddenly I'm just going, yeah, let's finally just peek in and see what's going on. Let me in. Thing about being that is this one a dud? Is that a thing? Or did I raid this previously? I might have raided this previously and forgot. So I think that's what happened. Because there's no chest there. And I think they always have them, so therefore that must be a dud. Or it must be raided by me. I'm voting raided by me. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, is it was raided by me. This is a mutant creeper hole. I remember that. Still haven't got a good pet pet creeper again, so eventually I'll get there. Okay, so I guess what I'll do is I'll head back home via quick teleport. Okay, I was already in that mode. Yes, the thundery power of Thor says I have teleported. It's going lootiful. Actually, my day is going lootiful. Thanks for asking. So, yep, okay. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try raiding some more tree dungeons if I can find them. Or leaf dungeons, as they're called. Just need to get to my, Twilight portal. That's another thing. I'm not sure if there's... I think there are some pretty good structures to raid in the... Ooh. Yep. Ahaha, got past you. Okay. In the Arcana RPG dungeons type areas. Although, there's not as many going up higher. It mainly has, like, a few really big structures, and they become, like, the dungeon. Like, Montaigne was huge. It had a ton of loot, and I still haven't raided it all.
The swarm, outnumbered and alone.
That is just too dramatic to ever interrupt. Okay. But yeah, as I was saying, the thing is, I mean, they're beautiful, massive dungeons, and I haven't even taken all the loot from them after all this time, but they also have, like, some other properties to them. Like, the fact is that you usually only get one. At least per player, anyhow. I think the dimensions may act by giving you a different location in each, so that multiple players can kind of raid, not necessarily together, but just have their own. Although they could probably follow each other to get to the right spot. But so it might be kind of more portal dependent, because I know another mod that did that, and that was Afraid of the Dark. That was cool. What Afraid of the Dark did. They made it so that everybody got their own Nightmare Realm dimension, so you can all get your own research and loot. Why I'm hovering close by for a moment is I'm listening. I'm listening for spiders. Because the rule is, you find kind of a nodule-like structure like these, and you listen for spiders. Of course, it also might help if I did something else. Is that for... Yeah, I sometimes forget my whole Optifine optimization when it comes to these, because it's something that I haven't done with, like, everything I've been in. So it's one of those things where I sometimes forget which section that these things are under. Okay, you see, it's better to have leaves transparent because you can kind of see, like, an inner structure made of wood that forms a core in these, and that can indicate where a leaf dungeon is. But you look only for these nodules of leaves, and look for little wooden areas whenever you're nearby, and you listen for spiders, because they always have these special, like, swarm spider spawners in them. So you can kind of tell. but it has to not just be a little wood. It has to be like a lot. Like it forms a little cuboid in them. Sort of like normal dungeons or other. Aha! See this? This looks right. Yeah, there we go. Gotcha. See? I knew what I was looking for. But these will have little chests and stuff. Charm of Keeping one. Useful whenever you don't have keep inventory on. So if you're on a server, look out for those, because they are useful. But yeah, I will pop all of this stuff in there. Just because I need to kind of keep my loot in operation. To be perfectly fair, I could probably... Yeah. I don't need to worry about that too much. But yeah, you get like tons and tons of loot from these. Sorry, but you always get in the way. Like my companion is always getting in the way. It's weird. How does... I mean, why do they not have like a turn off friendly fire option? It's just something I'm curious about. Although I might just go with it. Because, I mean, I have kind of a reason to. I mean, I have the sword. And this sword of which I have been questing for is one that I kind of need to hit something with. So I might just go for it. And hit him with the sword just to get the scan. Of course, first of all, I need to make sure I got it in my... do I have... Where's my soul gazer? There we go. Something is getting envenomed. And I mean that because, just check out all the abilities this thing has. For one thing, it's as effective as a sword and an axe. It applies poison on hits, and it has a chance of summoning Remobas, which themselves create poison. And it also gives you poison immunity as long as you're holding it. So that is a really great weapon, and one of the reasons why I love it so much, alongside the Cinderfall blade. So, or Cinderfall sword. So, yeah. The Venom Axe Blade is cool, and now that I actually have one, I'm feeling so much better. But I do need something to actually hit with it. Of course, it can also help me trim these trees if I really wanted to. But I'm looking for leaf dungeons because I am curious. Do they have a possibility of having knowledge notes? That's something I'm kind of investigating. I'm not 100% sure that they can. I don't know if they draw from like various loot pools. I mean, or mods. Like, will they do modded loot, or do they have like a dedicated loot pool? See, that's a thing to test sometimes. Do they have a dedicated loot pool or not? And I'm thinking they probably... I mean, they may, because they're kind of themed. They have very plant-based stuff, and that's also why you can find the various magic saplings in them in the first place, is they're specially themed. So I'm thinking they may use that as a baseline and then add additional stuff if additional stuff is available. That's another one. See, you look for this little cage of... Okay. Look for this little cage of... Or maybe not this time? Really? That's a false. But yeah, they all at least look like that to a degree, though. So every time you do find one successfully, they'll always look like that. So that one was a dud. It wasn't the actual, but it looked like it. So that one threw me off. So they will sometimes do that. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm wondering if maybe they add like their themed loot first and then maybe add some stuff on. That would be nice. But they might not. It might literally just be the themed loot. So as I look for these nodules and listen for spiders, maybe I'll get lucky and find another knowledge node, but I don't know if they're like the other dungeons. Okay, that looks suspiciously like another one. Nope. Again, they're not letting me. They know I'm on to them. They're defying me my loot. They're like, nope, nope, we're just gonna distract you for a while and make you think you've got a nice leaf dungeon when you don't. And the thing about it is they extend through the forest a pretty good way. Like, you will find these general kinds of trees that have them a pretty good distance out. So you don't necessarily have to confine yourself to looking close to your spawn point in the Twilight Forest. But there are something to look out for. And there are some areas that have fewer of these kind of compatible trees. And some that have, like, considerably more. So the beginning area is definitely pretty high on them. But it's still not, like, guaranteed to be your only spot. Like, you can find them farther out. Like, see how that's at least a little bit more sparse as you kind of go into other areas. And those trees are completely different because they're all for the dark forest, where it goes towards, you know, the dark tower. Okay, I found another one. Excellent. Hello? Okay. Whew. So you can find them in various locations. Canopy tree, melons, poisonous potato. Don't find that too terribly often, ironically. I mean, is loot kind of rare. But, you know, like, you tend to find it more just as is. I mean, you do your farming, you get some. It's just the way it normally goes. But like that, not really. I mean, if you really need a poisonous potato for something unusual, like, oh, say, you need it for a trade, which, I mean, I've shown thaumic potatoes too before, and do like the mod, so it is interesting that you can actually do that as a trade, is trade in poisonous potatoes for stuff. I am getting some buckets. So, I mean, they could be valuable. And there are like a few mods that use them as kind of as a unique gate. Like, you must find poisonous potato. And so it happens. I mean, it used to be a thing with the necromancy mod. It was done by Atomic Striker, because I think you needed poisonous potatoes to make a witch if you're or a witch part, like a witch head if you was doing one of them. So that was based on, like, you want to go a certain path, like you want to make these as minions, you're going to need to get this item. So sometimes you do need a poisonous potato, but usually more modded than... Okay, hello, we're getting considerably more of these now. That was convenient. Okay. Got both. Darkwood sapling, canopy tree, melon seeds, wheat. Have present will travel. Plenty of these. You can actually craft charms of keeping together to make better ones over time, so that's a good thing to know that you can get here. In fact, how many? I got 3, so I don't have quite enough, because you have to craft them in groups of 4. So that's not quite enough. But I did get another one, and I have gotten at least a few magical saplings before, I just haven't got, like, the whole collection. So that's something I'd like to do, I just don't know how fast that's going to be or how easy it is, because again, these things are just kind of random. Whoa, almost leapt completely off the side. Hope I don't get pushed by my own companion. That would be a very ironic death. Uh-oh. I just noticed something. That particular dark tower has a lava pool right next to it that's going to possibly burn the forest. And it's a big forest, so that could be quite a disaster. So maybe I should just head in for now, like take the spoils and go, because like obviously I don't want to load chunks of which will burn down a forest, and I have managed to raid myself at least a few dungeons here and there. There's another type that's really cool that I'd like to be able to find. They're kind of around the general perimeter, and they may also have concentrated loot like that. So I'll have to check those out too. But in terms of Twilight Forest, I think I want to vacate the fire hazard. So yeah. Of course it would be night, because the Twilight Forest is always at twilight, so you totally can't tell. Okay. Okay, thank you there. But yeah, similarly, whenever you're going around, there's kind of these modified trees that act as dungeons in Arcana RPG. And I think I've shown a few off before, but they're also ones that I'll probably go around raiding here and there. And so I'll probably kind of skip to them at some point and continue on looking for knowledge fragments and stuff. Or I might just raid all of those I could find off screen, because I think I've shown them off before. I know I have the Twilight Forest ones, but I just had to do a nice little search trying to see, like, if maybe, like, the discovery on camera would have been cool. Like, if maybe they could give you knowledge fragments, but so far the answer is no. I can get the ones from Tech Guns dungeons and stuff. They can have them. And I can get them from, like, regular dungeons. And I can probably, like very likely, I really should also be just flying around the hardcore end trying to get them from their dungeons, because they're immediately fit for it. I mean, that's part of the point. I'm wondering, do I want to use this as a default weapon? Or not? Because... Okay, the improvements to the Venom Axe Blade mainly improve the Remobra that you summon. I was hoping it would also improve the attack damage. I mean, it can always enchant it, but they're apparently very enchantable. But yeah, so that's a thing. May want to be careful as I hold this thing, because that is in fact dangerous. Okay, but for now, at least I've managed to get the thing I was after. So I guess I'll leave it at that for now on this dungeon raiding thing. They were minor dungeons, but they were cool. And that looks like it's forming a circuit with my armor, like a purple circuit. I mean, look, it's dripping, but it's doing it backwards from how I'm holding it, and it's like going into my armor, and my armor is purple. So this is actually just kind of more appropriate than I thought. Things you notice from different perspectives are just cool sometimes. Anyhow. My day is going extra lootiful now. I managed to get new minions, so it's been going good. Bula, thanks for asking again. But yeah, I think I'll probably just go for now, but yeah, I managed to succeed with my mission. And I have some of the things going, although some of them will just take resources over time, like waiting for my special mining laser to give me enough resources to make a better rocket. And I may also maybe make the digital miner at some point and just scoop up the fossils, because I know I really need to get them, and I would really like to do it properly. So I think I'll probably go that route, because I'm pretty sure I could take a lot from the landscape quickly and it won't leave too much of a mark, like it's not like quarrying style. So I'll just know whenever I had removed a fossil somehow with that thing. So yeah. Anyhow, for now I'll be going. So this has been Glitch Reaper. I hope to hear from you all later, and bye for now, everybody. And remember, keep your Minecraft crazy.